cutting-edge design group. I have been in the business for about 20 years. I started in the year 2000, fresh out of high school. Today I'm going to show you how to make a beautiful arrangement for your home with flowers that you can purchase from the grocery store. We went and picked out these beautiful flowers this morning. You can get a mixed bouquet and take it apart, or you can go in and pick out some of your favorite blooms, which is what we did. We've got some beautiful hydrangeas, some spray roses, veronica, some calla lilies, some solidago, some scabiosa pods, and some greenery. And when we pick these out, we like to pay attention to texture and color. The hydrangea gives you a really nice base, nice and fluffy, and once we put it in the vase, it will give you a nice base to build from. Spray roses are nice just because they give you that really nice rosy texture. Lots of nice petals. They'll open throughout the week also, so they'll give you lots of nice light. Linear flowers are nice just because they give you nice lines, and the veronica has a great texture and beautiful colors. Calla lily is another quality flower that has really nice lines and some beautiful color. The solidago just has really nice fluffy texture. It's a great filler and gives you a nice pop of color with all these purples and blues. And then scabiosa flowers, just because they're my favorite, and they're beautiful. And they're nice and fun and springy and beautiful. And then some greenery, just to kind of fill it out and give us some nice greenery texture and some nice flowiness. Anyway, let's get started. So I'm going to start with my hydrangeas. And a good rule of thumb is, and I grabbed just a generic vase that most people have at their house. You can use whatever vase you want, or a mason jar, whatever. A good rule of thumb is to always remove most of your greenery, or any greenery that's going to sit in your water, because it will rot throughout the week. So you are going to want to take off all your greenery, at least on the ones that are in the water. So I'm going to start by making myself a nice little cluster of hydrangeas. I'm going to cut myself a little piece of wire. You can use string, you can use tape, you can use whatever you need, whatever you have. A twist tie. Everybody's got twist ties in their junk drawer. Give yourself a little twist, tie it off. You can cut your ends. Now I'm using my floral snips, but you can use kitchen shears. Kitchen shears tend to work a little better than regular scissors. Scissors tend to flatten your stems a little bit, and then they don't allow your stems to drink very well. But kitchen shears and floral shears, they just snap right through it and they don't flatten anything out. So just cut my flowers at a little angle. That way it gives you, it drinks easier with an angle. And you can have your stems just long enough that they don't have to necessarily reach the bottom, but they're pretty close. Once you get your nice base of hydrangea in there, I like to start with a little touch of greenery because this will help give me the shape that I want. And the hydrangea works really nice as a grid, so it should hold all your flowers really nicely. I'm just taking off those bottom leaves again so they're not rotting in the water. I'm giving myself some nice little shape and texture. I'll probably tuck some up into the top too, but right now I just want to kind of give myself a nice little shape. So, nice little base to start with. Let's see, next I think I will start with a little bit of the solidago. Sometimes I start with my filler last, because sometimes you just want to fill up a hole. But this filler is nice and fluffy, that it might help you kind of fill out your base a little bit easier and help you with your shape and your width and your height. So, get a few pieces in there. Let's switch off to the roses next because they're a little thicker, a little bit more substantial. Again, take off your lower leaves. Give yourself a nice little clip. Now, I've been in the business so long that I know where to clip my flowers, but if it helps you, you can always kind of line your vase up with your flower stem and then kind of cut your stem kind of at the bottom of your vase, like on the outside. That way you know you don't cut it too short. If you cut it too long, it's fine, you can always cut more away, but if you cut it too short and it doesn't reach the water, then it's not going to live very long. So couple roses in there. I'll put one more in for some height. And then we'll just start building out and give ourselves a little bit more beautification. Nice Veronica. I love the Veronica. Look at that. It just has a nice little pop. Beautiful lines. Again, any leaves you think that are going to touch the water, you're going to want to take those off. And you don't necessarily have to, I'm going around to make it kind of traditional. And you can do a mix of traditional and modern. You can kind of leave everything in little clusters. Like I have those 3 in clusters. It gives you a little bit more of a little modern twist on a traditional arrangement. And you can do this with whatever flowers you buy. The most important thing to remember is pay attention to your texture and your color. I mean, a lot of colors look great together, so you really can't go wrong with too much color. But you just want to work back and forth between all your flowers so you get yourself some nice texture and a beautiful arrangement. I'm going to leave this one a little taller. And don't be afraid to leave 1 or 2 out in the middle of nowhere. Like that one kind of looks like he's out in the middle of nowhere right now. I'll take away a couple of these leaves. But once you start filling in with some of your other flowers, he's not going to look so out of place. And even some of these scabiosa, they're so nice. I'm going to leave those a little bit longer so that those stand out a little bit more. And again, it may look like he's out in the middle of nowhere, but he won't be soon. You can see sometimes you want your flower to sit a certain way and you can't get it to sit a certain way, and you just have to go with it because it's nature and that's what happens. We're just going to turn her around that way then. Don't get frustrated. Flowers are fun and happy, and there's really no wrong way to do it. Another one that doesn't want to sit where I want it to sit. Just gonna cut her shorter. But yeah, don't be afraid. Flowers are fun and they are very forgiving. Some people are a little scared that flowers are super delicate and dainty and you know, you don't want to break them, but flowers are pretty hardy. Like you can, I wouldn't say beat them up, but I mean, you don't have to be so delicate with them. I'm gonna put in a couple calla lilies. I'm gonna keep these a little bit clustered. We'll keep in our little, you know, traditional arrangement with a modern twist. A little bit of texture and variety and a little bit of modernness. There we go. Get some on the other side. I keep turning my vase. That way you can pay attention to what you're doing in the front, what you're doing in the back. You want to pay attention to all sides. I mean, if it's sitting on a table, you want to pay attention to all sides. If it's sitting up against the wall, you can do it a little bit more one-sided. But if you want to put it on a table or on your kitchen counter or something, you're going to want to keep turning it around and around just to make sure that it's pretty from all angles. You've got something beautiful to look at from all angles, something different to look at from all angles. Let's see, I'm down to a couple spray roses and some solidago. And this was literally just a few bunches that we picked up from Trader Joe's this morning. $30 is what we spent, so not a whole lot. A vase that we had lying around, didn't even have to buy a new vase. And don't forget to wear your mask when you go to Trader Joe's. Or anywhere right now. But yeah, I think our vase is turning out pretty. I hope your guys' vase turns out just as pretty, or prettier. see. I do have lots of pretty greenery left, and you don't have to necessarily use everything that you buy. If it doesn't fit in your vase, do not shove it in there just because you have it. You do want to, you know, make sure that the flowers have room to breathe and drink. And also, like, some flowers will continue to grow after you cut them, like tulips. So yeah, just have fun with it. Go and pick out your favorite flowers, or like I said, you can buy a mixed bouquet already and just take it apart and just practice or have fun with it and make something pretty. And flowers come in all different colors and textures, and you can do whatever you want with it, really. I think we are just about finished. And sometimes, depending on if your flowers are, if your stems are a little dirtier, sometimes your water might get a little dirty as you're designing. And you can easily, once you have your arrangement done, keep your flowers together. You can pull them out of the vase with your hand tied around them real tight, and you can dump this water out and replace it. And then every 2 days or so, you're gonna wanna replace your water. You're gonna wanna take it out just like this. You're gonna wanna cut all the stems, or whatever ones you can reach for the most part. Cut them at a nice little angle. That way they can drink some fresh water throughout the week. They'll stay nice and pretty for you. Your roses will continue to open, and everything should stay nice and fresh. I hope you guys had a good time designing your arrangement. Post your arrangement so we can see what you make, and you can tag us in there. And yeah, I hope you guys had a good time.